You're listening to Myers-Briggs Question Corner with Edythe Richards.
Today's question is from a listener who I'll call Alex, who asks, I'm a young adult ENFP and I'm having a hard time transitioning to the work world from college. I also feel like it's hard to be satisfied in one job, and I've moved around a lot. Can you give me some tips on how I can keep various aspects of my social, work, and relationship areas in balance? ENFPs are perhaps the Myers-Briggs type most apt to have difficulty in identifying a career path. As with other types, working on balancing your gifts with your areas for development is key in becoming a successful professional. And I know this is easier said than done as an ENFP myself. To answer Alex's question, I'm going to provide an overview of the ENFP type, particularly as it relates to careers and the workplace, identify potential challenging areas, and finish up with tips for both balancing personal and professional relationships, and for staying true to your values and making the most of your natural strengths. Natural strengths for ENFPs include being energetic and enthusiastic, versatile and independent, imaginative and curious, and personable and idealistic, especially focusing on human possibilities. Themes for ENFP include self-expressive, connections, creativity, and motivating others. Because they naturally see possibilities in everything, it's hard to settle on just one path. Combine this with the fact that for ENFPs, work for the sake of work is nothing more than drudgery, and drudgery is pointless. Life and careers are meant to be meaningful and rewarding. ENFPs also need fun, in life and in work. It's hard to find workplaces and people, especially in the corporate world, who understand this. ENFPs who haven't learned to develop their tertiary and inferior functions of thinking and sensing will likely see a lot of starts and stops in their careers or workplaces as they try to settle down and find the right fit. They'll become bored easily. Once they figure out a task, they're ready to move on to the next one. They'll get frustrated by too much structure or micromanaging, as these environments stifle their creativity and enthusiasm. Many corporate environments tend to be cold or judgmental, also not a natural fit for ENFPs who can be hypersensitive to criticism. Now, in terms of settling on a career path, most ENFPs I've known are very smart, innovative people who can do just about anything they set their minds to. The key is that they must be interested in the area or topic. If they are, watch out because they'll go out of their way in accomplishing it with flying colors and they'll be unstoppable in reaching a goal. If you're an ENFP tuning in and you haven't found that area or topic you want to conquer, please don't think there's something wrong with you. Get out and experience life. Feed your brain, and I guarantee you that it will happen. For this to happen, though, you'll need to interact with other people, brainstorm, and have new experiences. Just keep trying and don't doubt yourself. I'd also like to invite you to tune into my podcast, Myers-Briggs for Midlife Career Changers, available on iTunes, Spreaker, Spotify, and my website, atopcareer.com. One thing that may affect an ENFP's career choice is the result of another theme in their lives: pleasing others. You can look at it either as a strength or a weakness, but I tend to think of it as both. For example, to please your parents, young ENFPs may choose a career path that doesn't align with their interests or strong set of core values. To please supervisors or coworkers, ENFPs may find themselves performing tasks that they feel are a waste of time. If they don't either find balance or find a career path and a work environment that they feel good about, they will become frustrated, depressed, apathetic, or act out in unhealthy ways. More than most other types, it's very important for ENFPs to find authenticity in all they do. Those ENFPs I've met who are successful in the world of business or in government or corporate environments have had to compromise something within themselves to get to the point of being successful? That's a question each individual person has to answer for him or herself. ENFPs tend to be at their best when they're connecting and engaging with people, evaluating potential, and seeing patterns that shape the future, coming up with all sorts of scenarios and possibilities. I'm going to mention 4 general areas that most ENFPs need in order to be satisfied at work and in their career path. First is variety. ENFPs need the freedom to be able to work with a diverse group of people on a variety of projects that challenge them and satisfy their curiosity. Second, ENFPs need a friendly, relaxed environment with very few conflicts where people support and appreciate each other. Third is work that is meaningful and aligns with their own values. For example, if artistic expression is very important, ENFPs will want to incorporate that into their career in some way, even if it's just designing a new brochure or bringing art into their cubicle at work. If it's not possible to do this in a career, it's very important for the ENFP to incorporate this into his or her personal life outside of work. Fourth, ENFPs need a high degree of freedom to work on their own schedule and in their own way. They're not going to be at their best for many years in careers that require timelines and structure and are filled with micromanagers. A couple of things that I'm going to add that most, but perhaps not all ENFPs need is the ability to be their authentic selves at work. Most ENFPs also need a certain degree of excitement, whether that's intellectual or physical, and they'll do best in environments that appreciate enthusiasm, ingenuity, and fun. Most ENFPs are prone to procrastination and have a real dislike for structure and conflict. They have probably received feedback at some point that they're too enthusiastic in the sense that they overwhelm others, lack follow-through, are disorganized, or impractical. This can carry through to choosing a career. Now, here are my top 3 tips for ENFPs who are transitioning from college to career and unsure where to start. First, this is an activity I have almost all of my career counseling clients do prior to us beginning work together. Make a list of all the positions you've had throughout your life, part-time, full-time, internship, and even as a college student. Make note of your likes, dislikes, and greatest accomplishments for each. Include the dates that you worked at each. Beware, this takes time, but it's a really good activity for putting things into perspective and remembering the great things you did at each of these positions. Bonus, you'll also have a list for when you get to the point of writing a resume. Ultimately, though, this activity helps you reflect on the significant people and events in your life, gives you a sense of pride, and will help you reveal what you value the most. Second, reduce your options. A huge challenge for ENFPs is that they love coming up with grand new ideas. It's so much fun to think about what could be, and this is why they often change majors in college, change hobbies, etc., etc. ENFPs are natural brainstormers who get bored with routine. But let's face it, in order to find a career path that's a good fit, you have to focus. Start with the field. If possible, try to come up with 3 to 5 career fields that you're realistically able to pursue. If you are honest with yourself and think hard about this, I will bet that there's really only 1, maybe 2 fields that you're serious about. Third, talk to others. You can get a lot of information from people working in the fields you're considering, and since ENFPs are naturals at networking and relationship building, this is an ideal time to use those skills. But it's important to act on what you learn. Resist the urge to just talk to people because it's fun. You have to use the information you get, and that's the not so fun part. But it's essential if you want to succeed professionally. To sum it up, ENFPs are charming, lively, compassionate people who may be indecisive about what career paths to pursue. Ideas are much more interesting than reality for this type, so it can be a struggle to find a place where they'll fit in. The good news is that they can almost always succeed at whatever they choose because of their excellent people skills. My biggest takeaway for ENFPs is just to keep feeding your brain, try out different activities, interact with lots of people, and have lots of fun experiences, and you will find your calling in life. Alex, many thanks for writing in with your question.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you'd like to hear more, or you'd like to submit a question yourself, then you can find us at www.atopcareer.com. Until next time. MBTI and Myers-Briggs are registered trademarks of the MBTI Trust.